All right, it is now my pleasure to introduce the Executive Director of World Trade Center St. Louis. You've heard a little bit about him already. He's a humble guy, but he's got a lot of important things to tell us. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Tim Nowak.
Thank you, Debbie. Gee, how do you top that, Southwest Airlines? I've got no tickets. I got nothing to give away. Thanks so much. Happy to follow you. No, thank you, Debbie. And I just want to thank County Executive Dooley really quick for your mention of the 2014 Eisenhower Fellowship. I'm honored. I truly am humbled. But I'd also like to thank and acknowledge the local members of the Eisenhower Steering Committee, some of whom are here with us today, including Ed Monzer, Kathy Osborne, and Chris Chadwick. And I cannot let this opportunity pass without mentioning that St. Louis received 2 Eisenhower Fellowship appointments. Many of you may already know Rhonda Broussard. She is the founder and president of the St. Louis Language Immersion Schools. She is a friend and a 2010 Leadership St. Louis classmate. And now she, too, is an Eisenhower Fellow. Rhonda, will you stand up briefly? You see, that worked. I emailed Rhonda earlier this week. I said, you need to be at the luncheon. Thanks for coming, Rhonda. Each year, Growing Global gives us an opportunity to highlight St. Louis's progression as a partner engaged on the world stage. Recently, the Brookings Institute published their report titled The 10 Traits of a Globally Fluent Metro Area. It is a report that provides the framework for local leaders to gauge their local starting point and measure their own success. The traits have proven to be particularly strong determinants of a metro area's ability to succeed in foreign markets, manage the consequences of globalization, and better secure its desired economic future. Few, if any, cities excel in all 10 areas, but I'd like to highlight 3 of the more important traits, and on this, our 20-year anniversary, measure our own global position, looking at just how far we've come since 1993, and more importantly, where we're going. The first 2 traits, in our case, are intricately connected: leadership with a worldview and a culture of knowledge and innovation. Local leaders with a worldview, a long-term vision, and a focus on regional coordination have the greatest potential for building their city's global fluency. St. Louis's international profile has benefited from the leadership of 2 individuals who we will honor later today for their vision in founding the World Trade Center St. Louis. And influential men and women with a shared worldview have risen throughout this region to embrace the economic opportunities and prosperity awaiting a globally competitive and connected community. Strong leaders at the St. Louis Regional Chamber, Civic Progress, the Regional Business Council, the CVC, the Economic Development Partnership, local universities, and others have formed an alliance to lead this region in the Mosaic Project, a strategy to make St. Louis the fastest growing metropolitan area for immigration by 2020. People remain the most important ingredient to any community. Local leaders recognized this fact when they commissioned 2 studies to measure the economic impact of immigration on St. Louis and to identify key initiatives to jumpstart growth. What we learned was compelling. While St. Louis's foreign-born community is highly educated and significantly more entrepreneurial, it is much smaller when compared to other metro areas around the U.S. A culture of knowledge and innovation requires the highest levels of human capital. Those who can attract and retain the best and the brightest from around the globe are better prepared to compete in a global economy that is dominated by information, technology, and new ideas. The Mosaic Project is shaping our future by welcoming and integrating newcomers and new talent to this region. And it's already bearing fruit with an unprecedented response, both locally and nationally. While the path toward this goal is neither quick nor easy, it is our shared economic imperative. A third trait of a globally fluent metro area is government as a global enabler. Federal, state, and local governments have a unique and complementary role to play in enabling firms and cities to go global. We heard today from Governor Nixon as the state of Missouri embarks on a truly best practices export initiative. This is a concrete example that international trade and engagement are a priority in Missouri. The partnership we've developed is providing a streamlined approach to help guide and prepare businesses for success in new markets. And locally, St. Louis Mayor Francis Slay and St. Louis County Executive Charlie Dooley, through their unified support of the World Trade Center, have exerted tremendous influence in developing the international strategies for city and county economic development. With their support, the World Trade Center St. Louis is the local partner for the Export Missouri Initiative, providing training and market research to increase the pipeline of local firms engaged in global trade. And I'll include, as a part of that training, our Chancellor's Certificate in International Trade in partnership with the University of Missouri St. Louis. And together, they have opened the doors for many regional business delegations in overseas markets and routinely open their own doors to properly receive the many international dignitary and business leaders who visit our own city, promoting St. Louis as a destination for international business investment. All of this work is yielding measurable results. In 2012, St. Louis regional exports climbed 19% to a staggering $14.6 billion. St. Louis is now the 22nd largest export market in the United States. Now, growing global is challenging. Macroeconomic forces such as regulation, free trade agreements, and immigration laws are still beyond the control of any one given community. But, according to Brookings, cities that prioritize global engagement will, over time, seize its benefits, including increased exports, increased foreign investment, international visitors and students, human capital, and playing an active role in international networks that foster innovation. In short, the more globally fluent and connected St. Louis becomes, the better able we are to control our own destiny. One important step toward this effort began in 1993 with the launch of the World Trade Center St. Louis. 20 years later, I'd say we're making good progress. Thank you for your continued support and for all that you do, each and every one of you do, to promote St. Louis on the world stage.